All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so let me make sure I'm live over here because I'm not a pro at this. Um, cool. Here I am. Yay. And this video has super bad lighting, but that's okay. All right, guys. Hi. I wanted to say hello. Quick shout out to everyone. I'm not going to ask you to hashtag anything. I'm just here to say hi and give a couple or maybe even just one tip for today because I was just thinking of you guys. I made a post a couple moments ago to some friends um, privately, and I thought, I'm going to take a piece of this. It was like a 20-minute thing, and I'm going to give it to you guys. So here it is. Today, when something terrible happens, okay, if it's not like impacting your whole life, I mean, I'm not talking like a death or a backstabbing or betrayal or something. We can get that another time. I'm talking somebody cuts you off in traffic, or you have one of those like persistent thoughts that you happen to deal with, like life is hopeless, or just something icky happens, right? Somebody says something really off and it triggers you. Here's what I want you to do. This is a thing I implemented a long time ago. I don't have to use the actual timer now, but I have the same rule and I know when time's up. So, and I switch tracks. Here's what I want you to do. This is a tip for you. Something I've used in my life for a long time. Okay, so wait, before I even tell you what it is, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me, and this is when I like first decided to do this. Um, so I was at a nursing home, like an elderly people home, and this is just a story about me, okay? Just a short one, just to illustrate like the need for it. Um, okay, so I didn't obviously vet the elderly that I was helping, and it would be men and women. And so there was this long paperwork thing, red tape, holding me back from being able to be an official helper or volunteer person in this particular place. So what I did was since I had already gone in, there was like no one at the desk. I'd already been in there. And so I was like, wait, what? You have to do what and what and what and what? And agree with this or not, I'm a safe person and I just want to love on people and be there and encourage them. And it went really well. Nothing ever happened. It was a great experience. But instead of doing all this stuff when I'd already been going in there, no one was at the desk. And then other times I was able to just go visit people. And so I just was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm coming in here to see whoever. I'm friends of whoever, and then they let me in. So it's like, okay, somebody I had met, an elderly guy. So since I was friends with him, I got to go in and just like, yeah, it's a good thing I was a safe person. There should be tape, so nobody's like doing bad stuff. But I was really in my 20s at this time. It was a long time ago, and I just wanted to go help old people. That's it. And so anyway, at the time, I just like, okay, I know John, whatever. And so I would go in and visit John, then I would visit all the other old people I could. And I would go to their lunchroom, and other people would like play bingo with them. So I got involved in that, like little games. And then I would just like minister to them, talk to them, let them tell me their stories of history and all this stuff. And I really liked it. I liked just being able to help old people at the time. and um and so I just wanted them to be happy and feel seen and heard. That was it. And share the love of Jesus with them, which was me coming there. And so, anyway, what happened? That being said, okay, I was just really innocent this time, and I wasn't even thinking about like the other bad people. Like, I already know why this could be bad that you don't do it, like cross your T's and whatever, get vetted. Okay, I'm just telling you this. This is what happened. And so, anyway, there was this old man, and so I'm just going in there just like to be helpful, right? And I'm just young and I just want to help and hug them and love them. And this guy was like, hey, come here. And so I was like, yes, what would you like? What do you need? How can I help you? And one of those things, right? And he was like, and I just remember he was like, come closer. And I was like, it reminded me of this gross South Park episode once I watched. But anyway, um, he was like, come closer. I was like, okay. And so I came closer. I don't need to show you guys, I guess, how I came closer, but I came like, to whisper, like, so we could whisper. And I like leaned in. And he's like, and grabs my boob. And I was like, ugh. And I felt like it was like he molested me. Okay. And I was like, oh, what? And I'm just like, you can't touch me. And I got away from him and I was like, I just couldn't put my mind, like wrap my head around what just happened. And I was like, why would he do that? Like what? And it just disturbed me so much that he violated me like that when I was like 100% trusting at that time. And I just didn't think anything like that could happen. a lot of bad things happen, right? People going in and like a lot of things bad can happen. But I was just very naive to this part of the world at that time. I think I was like 27. Um, but anyway, so I was like sad and I cried in my car after this happened. Okay. And I called my pastor friend, Houston, and I was like, this happened, like blah, blah, blah. And after all this happened, it was so disturbing. I remember talking and he like helped me work through it, like, hey, you just, you got to be careful in there, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, you know what? Like, I need to move on now. How am I gonna do that? I'm gonna set myself a timer. And I was like, how do I not like it let it wreck my day and blah, blah. And so what came out of this conversation, or maybe it was after when I thought about, okay, what am I gonna do to move myself from the track I'm on to whatever emotional experience I have, whatever that triggers, to the whatever circumstance or event has happened. How am I gonna move tracks and move forward and not get stuck in that, right? And so I decided that I had a 5 minute timer rule because it was like, you have to step outside of whatever's happening and be the observer of what's happening. Be the observer of your feelings and process them. So don't like stuff it, but process, observe your feelings, let yourself fully feel it, and then say, okay, what would I advise someone else to do? What would be the next step? What can you do with this and the information you're going to receive from yourself about how you feel about this or what you don't like about it or what you want to be different about it? And then what are you going to do in the future? Is it something that involves other people? Do you want to like think of a solution for them? Well, give yourself a certain amount of time and then move on. Let those feelings fuel that solution. And then if you need to table it, you're going to table it and come back to it later when you're not in the emotional state and you can better see it and address it. And that's what you always should do, really. After you've felt it, you table it and you can come revisit it. Maybe you'll feel differently later. Maybe more information will come into the picture, but you need to be able to step outside of that and be the observer of your feelings and decide what meaning it has. And if these feelings serve you, or how the circumstance and what happened can serve you for the future, what you're going to do differently. You're going to let people walk all over you like that. Maybe, you got like somebody said something rude and violated your boundaries. How are you going to prevent that from happening? So you're going to respect your own boundaries better, or articulate what your boundaries are to people in a more effective way, or just articulate them at all. You're going to tell people what your boundaries are, not playing the victim, right? And also not letting the feeling and the circumstance and the event control you. Your emotions should not control you, ladies and gentlemen, all my friends here. The emotions give you information and they're valid, but then they should just be things that inform your future decisions and ways of being and what you're going to decide to do. And yeah, it gives you a lot of power, and it should fuel, maybe it even fuels you for a workout, right? To vent, to get it off, like purge that thing. But that is my advice to you today, is whatever happens, I want you to give yourself a 5 minute timer rule, and you have 5 minutes to feel the feeling, and then you need to decide what you're going to do and how you're going to use that information and what you've processed to better your future. The thoughts determine the trajectory of your day, the thoughts you have, and your thoughts are, your decision. So you feel the feelings, and then you have thoughts about the feelings and decide the meaning you're going to assign them. So you have to be very careful about this and what meaning you give them. Here, baby, lift that one up. And I want to encourage you to do that today. I can help you further if you need help with that and how to do that and to identify those thoughts behind it. Because really there's significant, there's meanings. I don't want your full face in the video, okay? There you go. Sit up there over your placemat if you're going to eat that. Sorry. But I want to encourage you to have like be in control of how the significance of those feelings and how you're going to process them and how you're going to let them have power over your life. No, I'm not going to. Just how you're going to leverage those experiences, even the bad ones, because they can all serve you. It's just a matter of deciding to do that. You don't have to be in bed all day. You don't have to let one bad thing that makes you feel, maybe it makes you feel like a 10 on the bad scale, right? You don't have to let that knock out your whole day. It really doesn't have to. You need to have a time limit for feeling and experiencing the valid things you do. I'm going to do something weird just a second. That's how you get a popsicle out for your kid. There you go. There you go. I helped you. Love you. I'm going to be off here in just 1 second. So anyway, I just came in here to say that because I thought that might help someone for today. Yeah, it's called my Felicia Michelle's 5 minute timer rule. Okay. And then not only that, for those of you who are believers or maybe you're seeking the truth, remember that the universe is created by someone. So you can have a connection to the universe, but you know what's more powerful than that? More powerful than manifestation, more powerful than a connection to the universe is a connection to the one who created the universe. So that being said, I want to encourage you to explore that a little, because if you feel hopeless today, for example, you need to say, okay, I feel hopeless, but isn't that truth or is that a feeling? It is a feeling. Okay, I feel that way. What is the truth? How can I replace that thought that things are just hopeless? Well, God gives you a hope and a future. That is truth. And so if you replace that with your 5-minute rule on, sitting in it and then replacing that with truth, God gives us a hope and a future. And it is true. And I know this, and I can tell you 500 ways that it's true. No matter what happens. So you replace those lies or those cyclical thoughts, negative thoughts that don't serve you well, because hopelessness does not serve anyone. No one does hopelessness serve. If you replace it with truths, God came. Jesus came. Was always here, and Jesus came to give us a hope and a future. He came not to. What's that? You leaked? Oh, I gotta help her real quick. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it on that. But you have a hope, you have a future, and you can be in alignment with His will and the desires of your heart and feel fulfilled in your life. Anyway, apply my 5-minute rule. Let me know how it works out for you. You can DM me if it's private, whatever you want. I hope you have a good day. I'm gonna go off here and do what I am here to do. Lots of love to you. Bye. Okay, I'm here.